healthurbaniLiving.com. It's a new year. I'm in my kitchen and I have a new fun recipe. It's called Monkey Baread. It's an ooey gooey cinnamon treat. You're gonna love it. This recipe came from a coworker. She made it for my birthday and brought it to work. Everybody in the office loved it. I made it here at home. My family loved it, so I'm making it for you. Before we start, I'm going to take off my shiny hat because I don't want to get glitter in my monkey bread. Start off, I'm going to be using my kitchen mixer. I've got my big bowl here. I'm going to put in my milk. I've warmed my milk to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I use my little thermometer here to test that. I'm going to pour that in. Next, I'm going to put in some yeast. 1 packet of yeast will do it. And I'm going to put in some sugar. I'm just going to give this a mix, and then I'm going to put some plastic wrap on top, and we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. So I've put that aside. Usually I use this time to gather my ingredients and get my bundt pan ready. I'm going to be using my favorite bundt pan. Instead of using butter, I'm going to use spray. I'm also going to spray a bowl, and you'll see why later. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. I can remove my plastic. I'm going to leave this set aside for later. I can see that my yeast has started to thicken or grow. Bit of a soupy mess there. Now I'm going to add my next ingredients, which is eggs, melted butter, salt, and I'm going to add a little bit of my flour, and I'm going to put this into my mixer. I'm going to be using the paddle or the dough hook today. If you don't have a dough hook, you could use the paddle attachment, or you could use a hand mixer, or you could mix this by hand. I'm going to set this to 2 and let the dough ball start to form. You want to mix down the ingredients from the side with the spatula. Do this again for about 270. That's actually looking good. Now what I'm going to do is add the remaining flour, and I'm going to turn it up to 6, but I'm going to add the flour slowly so that we don't end up with a big mess. It's been about 2 minutes. My dough is pulling away from the side. I'm going to lower this, but I'm still going to have to work that dough. There we go. So you could either put this on the countertop and knead it that way, or because this is such a big bowl, I'm just going to knead it in here. Just going to fold it over onto itself and just keep pressing down. Good enough. The dough hook did a pretty good job of mixing this for me. Okay, now what I'm going to do is my bowl. Remember we put the oil in this bowl? I'm going to put my dough ball here in here. I'm going to cover it back with that plastic wrap. And I'm also going to put on a towel. This needs to double. So if I was in a nice warm tropical place where it was nice and sunny today, I might just leave this right in front of my window for about an hour. But it's January and I'm in Canada, so I'm going to leave it here on my counter at room temperature for about 2 hours. Then we'll come back and check on it. All right, we're back. It's been about 2 hours. I'm going to check on my dough. Oh yes, this is looking good. So my dough has risen, as you can see here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a good punch. That'll get rid of any air pockets or gas pockets. And then we'll start forming the dough. So, woo, that was fun. So as you see, I've got a bit of a assembly line here. I've got some melted butter, some sugar and cinnamon, and my greased with the spray, cooking spray, butt pan. So what I'm going to do is pinch off a little bit of the dough. I'm going to roll it into a little ball. I'm going to roll it around here in my melted butter and into the sugar and cinnamon. I'm just going to pop that right into the butt pan. Roll that around. So these are about a large marble size. Pop the next one in. I'm just going to keep going. I should get roughly 40 little balls. This would be a perfect activity if you had little ones or if you're going to have a sleepover. Now, I haven't been invited to a sleepover for many years, but if I did get invited, I would bring my butt pan and we would make these. We're just going to keep rolling and just positioning them right into the butt pan. You don't have to worry, there will be some little air pockets, gaps, but we don't have to worry about those. I have a solution for you, which I'll show you later. Now, believe it or not, we're going to wrap this up one more time, and we're going to allow this to sit and raise for just a little bit, about 20 minutes or so. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. We've allowed the dough to rise one more time. You want the dough balls to be under the rim. If the dough balls are overflowing, you're going to want to pop those ones out and bake them in a separate tray. Now, this is a perfect make-ahead recipe. This is something that I would use or make for New Year's Day, because here in the Urban House we have a saying, what you do on the first day of the year is what you'll do all year. And because I don't want to be in the kitchen making monkey bread all year, I'm going to make this the day before and bake it on New Year's Day. So at this point, I would put it into the refrigerator. Okay, so my kitchen helpers really want me to make this today, so we'll be baking it now rather than putting it in the refrigerator. As you can see, I've got a little bit of leftover sugar and cinnamon, and what I would do is use that on some toasted raisin bread. It tastes really yummy. Just sprinkle it on with the butter. There's about 1/4 cup of butter left over from making the dough balls. And to that, I'm going to add some brown sugar. And I'm going to add some vanilla, and I'm going to mix this up. I want it to make a kind of a syrup to go over top. That looks good. Now this is going to be the glue that kind of holds everything together. It's going to fill in any of those little pockets that might have been left by the round balls. So we're just going to pour that on very slowly right over top. Try and get it all around. I'm just going to pour this all the way around. I'm going to use my little spatula here and just make sure it's getting in all of the creases. There we go. And now we're ready to put it in the oven and bake at 350 for about 35 minutes. I've lowered that rack so it's not too close to the hot element so the top gets burnt. I'm putting it in for 35 minutes. Okay, my kitchen smells like cinnamon. It's glorious. I brought it out of the oven. It's looking good. I'm going to leave this sit for about 10 minutes and cool down. In the meantime, I'm going to make an icing. Now you could use your own icing, but this was the one that came with the recipe. It's a little bit of confectioner's sugar, some milk, some vanilla. Just going to mix this together, and as soon as I invert this into the pan, then I'm going to drizzle this over top. But we're going to wait that 10 minutes. Alright, okay, it's been about 10 minutes. I have my hat on in anticipation. Okay, I'm just going to flip this or invert this onto this pan. Lift up. Ooh, look at how that turned out. Drizzle this with a little bit of that icing that I just made. And ta-da! Monkey bread! Now, I could slice this up, but I'm going to do what 99% of the people are going to do, and I am going to pull a little ball off. Ooh, it's still warm. And pop that right into my mouth. Mmm, hot. But that's good. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give it a like.